to jasonnewland.com. Hello, how are you? Are you well? Oh. So, this is Let Me Bore You to Sleep. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. My name's Jason Newland, yes, and today is Tuesday the 19th of August. Wow, I nearly said April, but to be fair, I've just woken up. And when I say just woken up, I would say within the last 6 minutes. Yeah. I don't know how long does it take to do a wee and take a tablet and walk into the living room, and then get back out and turn a different light on, turn the main light off and turn a smaller light on in the living room. So walk up there thinking, oh, I haven't got any shoes on or my slippers or my Crocs. I hope there's nothing on the floor that hurts my foot. And then on the way back to my chair, I'm thinking, remembering my dad once knelt on a nail in a loft because he was an electrician, and thinking, oh, that must have been painful. And I sat down on a chair and I'm thinking, yeah, that's probably the most painful thing he ever went through. Then I thought, yeah, but he was in other things once, but then maybe the adrenaline and stuff that would have kicked in, and then I thought, well, why am I thinking about this? It's a weird thing to think about, and then. Is this even registering? And then I thought, just got this thing set up, and here we are. And then Vinny walked in just as I was getting the recording ready, and yeah, he came in, plodded in. I don't think he was even awake, to be fair. Half awake, maybe. And he jumped onto the chair to go to sleep next to me, cuddled up next to me. And here he is, he's asleep. He's fast asleep. Not even a little bit of sleep, but a lot of sleep. But in reality, I can't really know, can I? I can't know that. He might be sitting there wide awake, thinking of all the naughty things he's going to do in the coming day. I don't know. He might be thinking, oh, how can I wind up Daddy today? Or, I know what, I'll glue his ears together. I don't know. He's, no idea what's going on in his little mind. Mr. Sausage. That's what he used to be called. That's what Uncle Sausages called him. He called Vinny. He started calling Vinny Sausages. Sausages. And he started saying, how's sausages today? Is he good? He didn't say, is he good? That's something, that's a term he never really used. Oh, is he good? No, but I mean, you didn't know that. I didn't need to tell you that. It's not relevant, really, is it? What kind of phrases he used in his day-to-day pitter-patter of language, All I know is he uses a lot more words than I do. Yeah, he's definitely. I tell you, it's weird, right? Uncle Sausages said to me, right, and he was in. Wow, yeah. This was one of the last times I actually had a conversation with him. Possibly the last time. That's my stomach. You're going to hear that a lot, I think. That's going to be the background sounds for this recording. 'Cause my tummy wants some food. Or is it just attention? No, it's food. I want food. I don't want attention. I want food. Okay. Give me some food. What would you like? I'd like you to give me some ready break. Is there anything else? Yeah, stop asking questions. Just get me the ready break. So, yeah, Uncle Sausages. He said, right, why don't we make a podcast? And then he said, why don't you make a podcast? And make it funny. I said, okay. And he said, I didn't really know what he wanted. He said, yeah, we should do a podcast. But he wanted me to write it. He wanted me to think up a funny script for me and him to say. And as you will well be aware if you are a regular listener to this webinar, you know that I don't write no script for this. I don't write no script ever, and I ain't never gonna. No, I ain't never gonna do it. Blimey, if there was a script, then I need to sack the script writer and get me in some proper professional writers. And I didn't really know what he wanted. I said, oh, I don't really write scripts. He said, go on, you can use your brain. Like, it's not, why do you assume I can use my brain? Don't overestimate my powers to use my brain. Come on. Anyway, the irony of that was I said to Uncle Sausages years ago, and I'm talking when I probably first met him, that he should do a podcast. Because he was so into sport. He could have done a podcast on sport. There's a little bit of a gap there, wasn't there? A little bit of a pause. Even I noticed it. There's another one. I said to him, you should do a podcast. What's that? Well, it's like a radio show, really, except it's not a live audience. It's just you post it afterwards. It can be like a radio show. And he said, oh, okay. Wasn't interested. And I must have mentioned it to him loads of times over the years. I even said to him, look, I've got equipment you can use. If you do it with me. I said, no, I'll do it with... No, I don't think he even asked that. But I didn't really want to do it with him because I don't know the very first thing about sport apart from boxing. And I make that up as well. Boxing, I can't even spell it. Boxing. Oh yes, I can. Wow, I'm cleverer than I thought it was. Is. So yesterday, I had to go to the doctors. So I, after nearly 55 years, I'm starting to get used to myself. I'm starting to be able to kind of predict how I'm going to be. And for that reason, I ordered a taxi. I called up a taxi service Sunday, but late afternoon, and ordered a taxi for one. Might have been in the evening, maybe about 6 o'clock, something like 6:30. It's not that relevant, is it? Do you need the precise time? Do you need to know what I was wearing when I made the phone call? Yeah, I was wearing a basque. Do you need to know what I was eating? Yeah, okay, I can tell you what I was eating. I wasn't. I was just sucking on a lollipop. It was banana flavour, which is weird. You might think this is the whole. You might think this is weird. But the weirdest thing about it is, it was a red lollipop, but it tasted banana. You might think being dressed as in a basque and with like a fishtail, like a mermaid in a basque. Basically, that's what I was dressed like. You know, I think that's the weirdest thing. But I personally think the weirdest thing is a red lollipop that tastes of banana. That's mind-boggling. It's just, I can't get my head around it. A red lollipop that tastes of banana. Now, when I say taste of banana, it tastes of banana flavour. Just like strawberry, taste of strawberry flavour. They don't taste nothing like strawberries, do they? And banana flavoured stuff don't taste nothing like banana. It tastes like banana flavour. And I'm just used to what banana flavour is. Like the banana flavour milkshakes or the banana flavour, sweets. Doesn't taste anything like banana. Nothing like it. It's a pack of lies. I've never been so angry. So, I ordered a taxi for 1 o'clock on Monday, which was yesterday. So Sunday evening, about 6:30. I thought the appointment was 11 o'clock, but it was 2. So I ordered a taxi for 1. Knowing this is, if I've ordered a taxi, as I get closer to the time, I can't cancel it. Well, I can cancel it, I suppose. Technically, I could phone up and say, yeah, I'd like to cancel the taxi. Okay, bye then. I know, I could do that. But then that's 2 phone calls, because I'd also have to phone up the doctors and cancel that. And they said in the letter, if you don't turn up for this mental health review, we might cut down your medication so that you can only collect it once a week instead of once a month, which means going to the pharmacy every single week. And I thought, no, I don't want that for myself. So it was relatively important to go along to this review. And well, I'm glad I did now as well. The lady was very nice, and I kind of understand why I have them now. So I get up, I go to bed Sunday, get up in the morning, Monday. I think, I don't know. Did I wake? Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure what time I woke up, but I did wake up at some point. In fact, I think I woke up quite early in the morning, and then because I went to bed early, and then I went back to bed for another nap, and I made a recording. Yeah, I did yesterday's recording. Now, I was going to do two recordings yesterday. This technically is the second part of that recording. But I was so tired in the evening, I just couldn't do it. The day knackered me out of it. I think it's just the people dealing with people being around, and because I went to a few different places, and by the time I got home, so I left here at 1. Taxi got here at 1. I got home. Well, I got the probably about 4:15 bus back, which took me probably about another half hour, including the bus ride, half hour roughly to get home, maybe. So I was back home by about 10 to 5, maybe 5 to 5, 10 to 5. Bearing in mind I'm quite a slow walker, so the bus took me part of the way, and then I walked the rest of the way. So yeah, I was home before 5, which meant I'd been out for 4 hours. I had something to eat, and then it was like 6 o'clock, and I lied down for about an hour, just over an hour. I got up. I took Smelly Belly out for a wander, and then the evening was kind of done, really, and I was tired, and I ended up going to bed about 23 minutes past 10, I think it was. It's very precise, isn't it? Yeah, very precise. And yeah, so I leave here at 1 o'clock. Vinny he did not want me to leave. Really did not want me to leave. But, I couldn't take him with me. So I got up. yesterday morning. I did. I took him out in the morning, and then I came home. I did the recording. That's it. I did the recording. I didn't upload it until I got home, or edit and upload it till I got home. So I did the recording, and then I had a shower, got dressed. I think I jumped in the shower about 12:38 p.m. So I didn't leave myself a lot of time to prepare myself. To prepare myself? What for? To, get myself ready. And when I got out of the shower, the taxi was downstairs already, but it was early, so I ordered it for 1 o'clock. If it gets here at 10 to 1, that's not my issue. Although I think I might have paid for him to wait. I don't know. I tell you, it was weird. Right, I get into a taxi, and I say hello. All right, okay. I think my attitude didn't help, because just as I was getting ready, getting my water bottle, getting got to have my bottle, my bot, so my water bottle and my bag. I was looking for my wallet, because the plan was to get a bus back. My bus pass is in my wallet, and also money. So to do what I needed to do, I needed to have the money in the wallet. But could I find my wallet? No, I couldn't. And I had minutes to find my wallet, and I couldn't find it. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't feel at all Christmassy. It really didn't feel good about it. It's like, this is annoying me. Where's my wallet? There must be some kind of gadget to put in the wallet. Like if you lose your phone. You say if you lose your phone somewhere in a house, and so, why don't you just call it? I can't call it because I haven't got the phone, have I? People say that. Why don't you just phone it? I need my phone to phone it, don't I? If I knew where my phone was, then I could phone myself. Yeah, but maybe something like that, where you can press a button and it's like, beep, 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 beep. I'm over here, Daddy. I'm over here. Find me if you can. Woo! That could be what the wallet does. I don't know why you'd have it say stuff like that, but I'm hiding. You're warmer. You're warmer. We're cold. It's getting cold. Ooh, warmer. 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 Hot, hot, hot. I'm joking. You're nowhere near me. Ha ha ha. Which would be probably even more annoying, actually. So I couldn't find my wallet. And I'm thinking to myself, through all the couple of weeks ago or last week, whenever it was, when I started tidying this place up and chucking stuff out, did I chuck my wallet out? Now, or did someone steal it? I knew no one had stolen it. And I also knew that even if I'd left it on the bus, I was saying, when did I last use my wallet? Or when did I last use because I've not even, used my wallet for ages. I haven't needed to, because I get everything online. So I just use my phone and order stuff. And I thought, when's the last time I used my bus pass? And it was the 1st of August. So the 1st of August is the last time I left this area, and yesterday was the 18th. So 17 days. It just goes to show how rarely I go anywhere. And it just seemed weird because 17 days it's been since what's his name kind of left, and it's like, wow. Oh, I had a dream last night. Just remembered it. It was really weird. It was a bit of a dodgy dream, actually, involving some dodgy people from the past. But they were using my property, bearing in mind it wasn't here, it was in a house or something, to have a rave party. Yeah. But there was a lady that came in and she liked me. And you'd think that in my dreams, if I met a woman, she'd like me because it's a dream. Yeah, even in my dreams I get rejected. It's ridiculous. But on this occasion I didn't, which was nice. So there was an element of romanticness. But a very weird dream. Very strange. I can't remember what else happened. So I give up on the whole finding the wallet scenario. I go downstairs. I get in a taxi. So I'm opening my door, my front door, closing it, and the phone rings. That's a taxi driver. So I look outside to wave to him, but no, he's parked right in a situation where the front of the car is obscured by the bushes, so he couldn't see me. And I'm thinking, do I really need to answer the phone? I'm literally going to be down there in less than a minute. But then so I'm trying to lock the door, and then I'm thinking, but he might drive off. What if he drives off? Or then I think it might be just rude if I don't answer the phone. So I answered the phone. He said, "Yes, taxi." I said, "Yeah, I know." He said, "How do you know?" I said, "I can see you outside." He said, "Well, why didn't you come down?" I said, "Because I'm literally closing my door, I'm locking it." He said, "Okay, but how did you know it's a taxi?" I said, "It says taxi on the side." He said, "Oh." I said, "Well, I'm coming down anyway, bye." And I just put the phone down. Well, I didn't literally. We can't say put the phone down anymore, can we? Because mobile phones, you don't. I mean, technically, we might put them down, but the action of putting a phone down doesn't disconnect the mobile phone from the phone call. I think we need to do that. We need to get some kind of a putting the phone down, because there used to be okay, I know it's a little bit drama-ish, a little bit of drama, but hanging up the phone in a little argument on the phone, in a conversation, hanging the phone up could have a degree of satisfaction. At least that's what my girlfriends used to tell me whenever I annoyed them. I said, what was the best part of our relationship? You know, I'd ask ex-girlfriends, "Oh, me putting the phone down on you. What was the best part of our relationships?" "Oh, the ending." "Oh, thanks." And so I answered the phone and say, yeah. I'm upstairs. He said, well, why don't you come down, please? I said, I'm coming. Wow, I'm just locking my door up. So I go downstairs, I waved, not any response there, so okay. I get in. He's from another country, which I ain't got no issue with. Why did you mention it then, JJ? That kind of fits in with the story, I think. So he seems to have a bit of an attitude. I'm annoyed because I think I've lost my wallet, but I do not have the time right now to deal with it. But at the same time, I don't want to cancel my debit card in case, well, basically, you know, it's a hassle. I'd have to get a new, I think it costs, I don't know how much it costs, but there's money to get a bus pass replacement. So I think, was it 20 quid, 30 quid? It wouldn't be 100 quid because no one would ever do it, so it must be like a relatively small amount. As I get into the car, as I back in, I find that's the easiest way to get in. Can't really go in forward, can you? Unless you're little. As a kid, you can just jump in. Imagine back in them days when being able to move fast, to just jump into a car and not be concerned about hips or knees or, yeah, it's going weird. It must be so strange, you know. I remember when I was like 9, 10, and we'd be going to Wales, and I'd like, or maybe going out for the day, and I'd jump in the car, usually in the back, and I had no concern when I jumped in the car, thinking, "Oh, better be careful how I get in the car because I don't want to hurt my knees or my back, you know, because that'll just mess up the rest of the day." And no, I was just like, jump in the car. I used to have to sit in the middle of my two horrible, smelly brothers. I didn't like being in the middle. There was no choice. I mean, they were both like, even my 2-year-old, my 2-year older brother was twice my size, and the other one was bigger than my dad, taller anyway. So I think my brother was pretty much as tall as my dad when he was 12. Anyway, so I get in the car. As I back in, I mean, that might have been not a good, it might not be a good introduction because basically I was saying hello to him and all he could see was me bum. So that might not be sticking my bum in his face probably wasn't the best introduction. Possibly, especially if I was the first call that he had for the day, he might have just come on, starts in the afternoon, working to the evening, and he's sitting there thinking, okay, well, this is the first one of the day, at least I've got a job, it's, you know, it's a little bit of money, and, you know, could be worse. At least no one's sticking their bum in my face. And then suddenly I walk up to him and he's like, I'm waving to him and he's thinking, oh, why are you waving to me? This is weird. I don't even know you. And I turn around and, you know, like, and he just sees my big, massive bum blocking the sun, just edging towards him. I mean, all I'm trying to do is just sit down. I'm not trying to ruin his day. And it does the gadget thing where it pulls the seat back. So he clearly thought that I needed, half the car just for each buttock, which was rude. It's weird though, it's not really rude, is it? Because this is just me thinking about what he might be thinking. You're rude, you are. Why? Because of what you were thinking. How do you know what I was thinking? No one knows what other people are thinking. It's just all guesswork, isn't it? Anyway, so I'm getting in. I said hello, he said hello. So we go. He said, you're going to the hospital. And this is the journey. This is the very first part of the journey. And I said, yeah, I need you to, if we can stop off at the pharmacy, not the hospital, blimey, I'm so used to saying hospital, to the doctor's surgery. I said, if we can stop off at the pharmacy first, please. And he said to me, so you're going to the doctor's surgery? I said, yeah. It's like we'd already had this conversation. So if you could please stop off at the pharmacy on the way. And he said nothing. I said, is that okay? Is that, yeah? He said, yeah. So he just, what is this? It's like he was ignoring me. But he was listening, but he just wasn't responding to what I was saying. And, I thought, well, this is going to be an awkward journey. Because I had a whole conversation planned. I thought I'd talk about the moon landing. I thought this would be an opportunity to have a conversation about that. But that didn't happen. So it doesn't stop outside the pharmacy. He stops near the pharmacy. Which meant I had to walk, which put my waiting distance up because he was getting paid to wait. I thought, why didn't you park a little bit closer? At this point, I'm thinking to myself, we're not going to be lifelong pals. This relationship doesn't seem to be going very well. And possibly won't be seeing him again. I mean, I realise it wasn't a date, but still, I generally get on quite well with taxi drivers. So he's still there when I get out. Of course he's still there because he's waiting for me to pay him. I go and get my prescription, just order it. The lady in the prescription, I mean, she's in the pharmacy. She's a nice lady, and she's almost, I felt a little bit like I'd, do you know when you're friends with someone and, you go around their house for the first time and then you see them again and they're still, friendly, but it's kind of changed. There seems to be some unsaid stuff there, like there's something changed about the dynamics. Almost, I felt, here's how I felt. The way that she was talking to me, because she's been friendly to me before, but that was when I've got Vinny with me, so maybe she didn't recognise me. And she kind of looked at me in a way that, as if I'd visited her house for the first time, asked to use her toilet, thinking I was going to do a wee-wee, but then I walked out, sort of, going, oh, that was a lovely poo. And maybe that didn't, she wasn't happy with that. She was okay for liquid, but not solids in a toilet from visitors. Or it could have been just the blocked toilet I left. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of the kind of vibe I got. But anyway, I got my stuff, walked back to the taxi, and got inside again, and back into the taxi. This time I tried to get in sideways because I thought he's been through enough today already. So I tried to get in sideways. I did, kind of. Yeah, I managed to do it. Yeah, I did, yeah. That's fine. All worked out okay. And we're coming back again. I mean, so far, silence on the journey. Once it's like there was not a lot going on. And then, right, as we pulled up to, we were getting closer to the doctor's surgery. I said to the taxi driver, I'll do us a favour, just, not really a favour, is it? I'm paying him. Not really a favour, is it? If you're paying someone, no, a favour is probably not the right word. But I said, can you... Yeah, I mean, if you're having your house built, and you say, I'll do us a favour, please, Mr. Builder, Mrs. Builder. Can you put the bathroom at the front of the house instead of the back of the house, so more people can look through the window, get more traffic? It's not really a favour, is it? Because you're paying the builders to do it. Like, well, I don't know. I think it's just a terminology, isn't it? It's just to do us a favour, but not really a favour. It's... Anyway, so I said to a taxi driver, do us a favour, pal, me old mate, me old mucker. Can you drop me off at the shopping centre? There's this like shopping centre place, I don't know, an estate shopping, retail outlet, whatever. He said, I thought you were going to a doctor's. I said, I am going to a doctor's, but it's early. I got like 45 minutes to mess around with. And he said, oh. I said, he said, okay. He didn't seem too bothered about doing this, but it's like, I think it threw him off a little bit. I got the impression that he was determined to go to the doctor's, and he was almost not looking forward to it, but he decided in his mind he was going to end up dropping him off at the doctor's, and now I'd changed my plans. I don't know, he seemed mildly annoyed, but this is where it changed. I said to him, yeah, the reason I said I got my appointment's not till 2 o'clock, you see, and I ordered a taxi at 1 because of traffic. No way of knowing what the traffic's going to be like. Straight away, he was like, yeah, the traffic's terrible, just like, never known. We bonded. Just in that last minute of the journey, we bonded. Now, we didn't make a date, we didn't kiss and cuddle, we didn't swap photographs, nothing like that. We didn't get out of the car and have a little dance. Nothing. there was no poetry exchanged. It was oh dear. It was, it was a normal conversation, moaning about the traffic. He was moaning about traffic, and I know what the traffic's like around there. It's like one thing, and then everything's blocked, we bonded, and a little bit like, if you, I remember I met someone who worked in a jam jar factory, like a jam factory, no, jam jar factory, and we just couldn't get on with each other. I think he was my girlfriend's boyfriend, not my girlfriend's boyfriend, blown out of been me, wouldn't it? He was my sister's boyfriend, and we didn't get on, just didn't click. Didn't like not get on in a bad way, just didn't click. And I knew he worked in a jam jar factory, making jam jars. I think maybe even putting the jam in as well. I can't remember. It's a long time ago. And I was a security guard at the time, I think. So we didn't have a lot in common. Very different jobs. And I was thinking, it'd be nice for me to get on with this bloke just for the sake of my sister. But I couldn't find a way in. I was like saying, I thought I'd just ask him some questions and see what he likes to talk about. I said, what do you think about the moon landing? Would you like, actually I didn't say it like that, I just said, would you like to talk about the moon landing for about 12 minutes? And he looked at me like, what? What do you mean? I said, I was wondering if you'd like to talk about the moon landing for 12 minutes. He said, why 12 minutes? I said, well, we can do it for more if you like, but that's the most amount of time anyone's been able to really put up with me talking about the moon landing. And he said, so people don't generally like talking about the moon landing with you? And I said, that's correct. Not for more than 12 minutes anyway. Some people are okay for the first 3.5 minutes. And he said, why do you talk about the moon landing then? Why don't you talk about something different? And that really made me think. It got my mind whirling around. It's like, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, there's more than one conversation available, more than one topic that I can choose from. And this blew my mind. Maybe, just maybe, I don't always have to be the one that picks the topic. It's a two-way interaction. No, that's too far for me, sorry. It's me. It's me talking at them. That's all I can offer. Anyway, I didn't know how to sort of really connect with him. I wasn't that interested in connecting with him. It's not like, I'd see him a couple of times, probably 3 or 4 times a year maybe at that time. And it's not like I was spending the rest of the time between seeing him, trying to put together some kind of big mastermind plan on how to connect with him in some type of, I don't know, friendly manner, I guess. It wasn't that important, but it was it seemed useful to just, maybe make the effort. Anyway, I ended up, I was in the kitchen, and I'm there with my stepmom, and we're just talking, and she says, do us a favour, Juicy, can you open this jar? Because we've got this thing in this country where the jars, whether it's honey, whatever, the lids are so tight. Honestly, sometimes they're just too tight. That's another thing. Uncle Sausages, he used to get me to open his tins, not his tins, his jars of stuff and his drinks. So I think it kind of lost his strength. He couldn't do it. So he used to knock on my door and I'd do it. I quite liked it. I didn't like the fact that he couldn't do it himself, but I quite liked being useful, It was quite nice. So whenever he got new stuff, I'd loosen it for him and just put it back a little bit so he could get in and out of it. Not in and out of it, I mean, he didn't get in and out of the jar of marmalade because he wouldn't fit. That'd be strange. So anyway, my stepmummy, I just said to her, what is it, stepmummy? And she said, can you open this jar, please, Juicy? How many more times have I got to ask you? I was like, wow. A bit rude. She said, you're rude. And I said, okay, I can do that. But I couldn't. I said to her, I can't do it. She said, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to have a go at you. She said, no, I can't do it. She said, oh, don't be like that. I mean, I've known you since you were 17. Can't you? You're 26 now. Can't you just open that for me? I said, no, what I mean is I can't physically do it. I'm not being awkward. I would do it for you. I just can't physically do it. She said, you can't even open the lid of a jar of marmalade. And then suddenly, my sister's boyfriend pops up. His head pops up out of the... That's just weird enough. He was hiding in the bin. Don't know why. And he said, I can help with that. I'm good with jars. I work in a jar factory. I said, okay. And honestly, he got that lid off so quickly. It was like he just used his thumb. No, I'm exaggerating. Okay, that bit I made up. The rest is completely true. But he did get into it quite quickly. It was like a safe cracker for jars. A jar cracker. Yeah. But anyway, on the way to the taxi, this is the very last bit of the journey. We had to go around a roundabout and around a little lane. We had this big conversation about, well, it was a very short conversation, but it was very animated. And I just thought it was so nice. It just took a little bit of time to kind of find a way in, So I get out of the taxi. It's too early to go to the doctor's. So what I do is I go into a clothes place. It's like is it Sports Direct? Something like that. And I'm just looking around. I need clothes. I need some pants. I've got 7 pairs of jogging tracksuit bottoms that are falling apart, so I need some new ones. The problem is, it's been such a long time since I've bought anything in a shop, like clothes. Apart from a jacket, I bought a couple of years ago. I bought some, or 3 years ago. I bought some winter coats, which was good. Was it Northern Face or Northern whatever? So I did that. But that's easy because I can try them on. But the tracksuit bottoms, I can't really try them on. And I said, "Oi." He said, "Who are you oiing?" I didn't. I said, "Excuse me, sir. I was wondering if you could be of assistance to moi." See, I know some French. I just hold on to it for the important moments. Did I ever tell you about? I had a friend, and we went to a Spanish restaurant. This is at college. We all went to a Spanish restaurant, and it had been planned for a week, and she was looking forward to going because she was going to speak Spanish. She'd been practicing her Spanish all week long, and we get there, and the bloke's from Bosnia. There was no one Spanish in the Spanish restaurant. She was so disappointed. Didn't stop her from speaking Spanish to him, though. He still didn't know what she was talking about. And so I asked the person in the shop, "Just help me out, please. I don't know what to do. I don't know what ones to buy." He said, "Yeah, but because we were, both about the same kind of height." He said, "Well, because you're not very tall." And I said, "No, it's basically my upper body. So I'm extra large upper body." And he said, "You're probably medium, for your bottoms, for, the tracksuit bottoms. The problem is it's the length. And they have elastics on the waist, so that's not really an issue. The length is, but if they're loose at the bottom, they can drag on the floor, but these ones aren't. They've got elastic at the bottom, so it wouldn't make any difference. So I got 2 pairs, both in a special offer. One was black, one was grey, or whitey grey. And then I go up, pay for it, and I get... Do you know when someone looks at you and you think, "Oh, I'm not sure why they're looking at me like that"? It was a nice way, not a horrible way, and I'm not used to that. And I was like, she was looking at me, and even at the end of it, when we finished, she was still looking at me. Like, I don't know, I can't explain it. It's very, I don't know. And I was thinking, did she think I was being grumpy? Because, I'm quite softly spoken, and I don't always have a huge amount of inflection in my voice sometimes when I talk. And I don't know, maybe that's what was going on. I'm really not sure. So I make my way to the doctor's. At this point, I'm hungry. You might think, "Oh, why are you telling me that?" I'm telling you that because I was hungry. Yeah, this is part of the story, and it's part of the story afterwards as well. It's part of now because I'm hungry now. Yes. So I went to the doctor's, get there 8 minutes to. The machine that logs you in wasn't working. So I went to the counter, they logged me in, for my nurse appointment. It's 2 before I get called by the nurse. And I'm thinking, I don't know why it took so long. Why is, But the lady was lovely. She was lovely, and she didn't rush me, which is pretty much why my appointment was late. My appointment was late because she gave time to the previous person, and the person after me, their appointment was late because the nurse gave time to me to talk. So it was hard to really be too grumpy about waiting around for 25 minutes. But that seemed to go quite well. Had a blood test, had weight done, pulse read, blood pressure. So my blood pressure and my pulse were good. My weight was less than last time, marginally, but I'm about 89 kilos now, roughly about 89 kilos, or 88.5 kilos, instead of being 100 kilos, which I was just a year and a half ago. But last time I think I lost about 1, maybe 2 kilos since last year. So I left, that was all done. I left, I went into Sainsbury's. I walked around Sainsbury's because I was hungry. I first started walking around to the other estate, the other, groceries section, but the road was so busy. I thought, I'm not going to get across here. So I walked back to Sainsbury's, went up the escalator to the restaurant. The restaurant's now closed. No restaurant anymore. Gone. So I'm thinking, I'm hungry. I need to eat some food. So I go searching in Sainsbury's for something to eat, something I can just stuff in my mouth. So I ended up getting a sausage roll pasty thing and a few cakes. So I pay for them. I'm in a queue behind people with trolleys because I don't want to use a self-service. And I do get, a few looks. Why is he waiting here? All he's got is like five objects, and he's in between two people with trolleys full of stuff. I don't care. I don't like the self-service. Simple as that. Never have done, really. Yeah. What else happened? So I come out. Oh yeah, when I was in Sainsbury's, this female walked up to me. My thumb's moving on its own. How weird. So when I was in Sainsbury's and I'm just wandering around looking for the something to eat because I didn't really know what aisle was where or what. So I haven't been in there for a long time. And this female walks up to me, says hello. I said hello. I thought she was going to try and sell me something, kind of, I don't know, or get me to sample a bit of cheese, something like that. And she said, oh. I said, oh, okay. Hello? She said, hi. I said, hi. She said, I hope you don't mind me stopping you. And I'm thinking, here we go, here's what are you going to do? She said, I just want to let you know I like your shirt. I said, what? She said, I like your shirt. I said, thank you. She said, it's very colourful. I said, yeah, thanks. I said, I like your shirt as well. She had a sort of, not the same shirt as me, but just thought, yeah. And then she walked away, and I just like, I really don't know what that conversation was about, but it was nice. I don't know if I've ever in my entire life had someone walk up to me in public and tell me that they liked an item of my clothing. Honestly, never happened ever. So that was a first for me. And then yeah, I saw a few things as I was walking through the supermarket. I'm waiting when I get out of there, so I have to have something to eat, because I'm really getting hungry at this point. So I sit down outside the supermarket, have something to eat, and then I go and wait for the bus. It was, they said it was probably 4:15 before the bus got there. And I get home, yeah, and I kind of already told you about last night. I was a bit tired. I went to bed. And when I did get up again, I just had some breakfast cereal, watched a bit of TV, and just went back to bed again. So, I got a fair bit done, technically. I made a recording, went to the doctor's, got myself a couple of pairs of tracksuit bottoms. Yeah, I can't think of anything else that I did. It's not a huge amount, really, is it, when you think about it? But yeah, I'm okay with it. Still a lot more than what I normally do. But right now, I'm going to have my breakfast because my tummy tells me it's time to have my ready break. Oh, yeah, I wish I'd made this rhyme. That partly rhymed. So I'm going to go. I haven't done Monday's boring objects. I completely forgot. Whoops. But I do intend to do Tuesday's Trivia Tuesday today. And I've already got a subject because someone posted me a subject, I think, or sent me a form on my website. So I'll do that later today. I might also do a Monday's boring objects as well for yesterday, just a belated one. I genuinely forgot to do it. I forgot it was Monday. I was focusing so much on going to the doctor's surgery that I'd forgotten what day it was. So that's me for now, anyway. So, thank you for listening. Remember to be kind to yourself because you do deserve to be happy. And be gentle with yourself. You deserve to feel safe. Lots of love.